She's a fearless original, a comedic genius with a gift for song and a passion to perform. She is Bette Midler.
I knew I had to be a star. I had no hope for anything else. It's the only thing that occurred to me. You know, it was the only way out.
Her talent is positively dynamic, an unstoppable urge that demands artistic expression.
Some say love.
God made some people a certain way, and she has this furnace in her that keeps burning, and she just has this unquenchable desire to keep going.
Guided by an abiding belief in herself, Bette Midler's never been afraid to take a chance and let the chips fall where they may.
I was very lucky. I was in the right place at the right time and allowed to be whatever I could think of being.
Behind her stardom is more than just the story of the talent and perseverance that won her fame in movies and music. Bette Midler is an example of raw guts and gracious courage. She has endured both triumph and failure, and no matter what the outcome of her work and dreams, she goes on.
I made all these mistakes, and I had no one to blame but myself, you know, so I suffered, I lived through it, and then I got up and I was purged, and I carried on with my life.
Now, at the milestone of her 5th decade, Bette Midler's life is more enriched than ever. She has the love of a husband, the joy of a daughter, and the undiminished ability to sing like no one else in the world.
I think that she really has an ability to move people. To me, she's a force of nature as a performer.
Tonight, the divine Miss M, as you've never seen her before. Bette Midler, an intimate portrait. Next. Was born in Honolulu on December 1st, 1945. Her father, Fred, moved there to paint houses for the Navy with his wife, Ruth, and Bette's older sisters, Judy and Susan, in tow.
My parents had no money. I was raised kind of poor. And we all had a sense of humor, and we all had a healthy respect for other people. We learned kindness, we learned real good stuff.
Bette's father was practical to a fault, while her mother adored the fantasy and dreams of the movies.
My mother loved show business, and she did love Judy Garland, and she loved Susan Hayward, and she loved Bette Davis. And I was named for Bette Davis, my sister was named for Susan Hayward, and my oldest sister was named for Judy Garland.
Up in Hawaii after World War II, amid a mixture of Hawaiians and Americans, Japanese, Samoans, Filipinos, and Chinese, all set in a carnival-like atmosphere of sailors and strippers, gamblers and grifters. To a future entertainer, it was an important lesson about the ways and wiles of the real world.
I was an outsider, but it honed my skills. I have I know a lot about observation. I learned how to observe. I learned how to I learned the nature of all kinds of people, not just one kind of people. I was never in my tribe. I was always outside my tribe. But I learned to be interested and respect other people's tribes.
Bette and her family lived in military housing. As hard as her father worked, they had the money for what they needed, but not much else. But money aside, what she always wanted but could never get was her father's love and attention.
I'd say that from what I know that it was difficult. He was not an encouraging man. He was less than generous with compliments. Was an extremely hard taskmaster, I think.
I think that she got her mother's compassion. She got her father's fierceness and his toughness, because he was a tough guy. He wasn't mean. He just didn't play. I think she got her survival, her strength from her mother.
Bette's emotionally lean home got even leaner when her brother Danny was born with a severe mental disability. Bette was 6. From then on, his needs came first and the rest of the family had to wait. That's when Bette began to lay the psychological foundation for getting the love and affection she needed. That's when she discovered what every entertainer lives for, Applause.
I sang for the 2nd grade, the Silent Night. I sang Silent Night for the Christmas pageant, or for my classroom. And apparently I could hold a tune. That was a very big surprise. And I was afraid to tell my mother that I had sung Silent Night because we're Jewish, and I was afraid it was going to be, a scandal. But I got a hand for that, and I was like, ooh, I got a hand. And the second time I got a hand was when I was in the 5th grade, and Barbara Nagy and I did a sketch for the 5th grade class, and that got us a hand. And that was a very big deal for Barbara Nagy and me.
Bette's first thrill from an audience filled her up in a way she had never known before. Soon she was singing for the entire neighborhood from her outdoor Hawaiian shower. Then it really happened. In the 6th grade, she entered a talent competition that changed her life with the song she sings to this day, Lullaby of Broadway.
I beat Diane Lucas, who sang Don't Be Cruel or Heartbreak Hotel. Elvis was just out. That shows how old I am. Anyway, that was a very big deal. And that stayed with me. I mean, I remember everything about that. I remember the clothes I was wearing. I remember the way it felt. I remember the prize. I remember the people. I remember the man that handed me the prize. I mean, it was so strong.
From that day on,